Little mark on that chip there. Let's zoom in. There we go. That's 40, isn't it? Let's zoom right in on that. Right, luckily I can get a nice good reading off that still. So it's EV4C. I think that's a 2PF2. So I'm going to write that down. Right, let's scrape it a bit and see if that's where it's blown. I would say yes. Yeah, look, it's still going now. Yeah, it's still going. Yeah, I don't think that's just a little imperfection. I think that's where it's gone. Oh, that's a shame. Let me pop the chip off the board. Well, I'll tell you what, let's just see if we've got shorts around it on these caps, because I presume these caps here are probably feeding it. Let's see if these caps are shorted. No. No. Yes. Let's get an ohm reading on that. I'll just do my leads to begin with on their own. So my leads right now are showing 10 ohms short, and these are so annoying, 10 ohms. So now what are they? Right, so that's what was hard to take off, because listen. Yeah, so when I go to the ground, like the USB port here and here, you can hear it. So the ground was sucking it all away, and you can see it's nice that the ground goes all the way up here. Yeah, so that was probably helping to cool it. Right, let's see if the short on these have gone. Yes, they have. Right, let's get an ohms reading. So what was it before? 3 ohms or something? Right, so that side is 3 ohms, and this side is now completely open. Yeah, there we go. I think we've proved that the fault is. Now, I wonder if it's obviously it's not going to work, because I presume that's to do with charging it up. I wonder though, if we were to put the battery in, would it come to life but maybe not charge? I think we should try that. Right, let's see if it'll turn on. Yes, look. Haha, listen. Did you hear that? There you go. Out of curiosity, let's see what will happen if we do try and charge it. Yeah, so it's not drawing anything. And also there's no light on here either. Yeah, so obviously that is a charged chip. Right, so again, out of curiosity, let's see if it will connect to my phone. So this is the Bluetooth one here. And we'll go to Buy It, Fix It. Highly recommend you do check out his videos. He really knows his stuff. Yeah, I watch all of his videos and I really like them. Now, let's go to here. Right, where's the volume on this thing? It's up the top, isn't it?
Camera multimeter from eBay and successfully repaired it. He called.
So that's the loudest.
Actually seen that video, and they very kindly asked.
Right, okay. So I need to look into that chip. Okay, I don't think I'm going to be able to get this chip. If I type in EV4C, IC or chip, it's not bringing anything up. If I type in EV4C and then the rest of it, it's still not bringing anything up. Whether I type in chip or IC, it's still the same thing. Yeah. I mean, see that 2. Let me try 3. That 2 was where the burn was, but you would think it would. You think there'd be enough digits there to bring it up. Now I'm sure it was a 2. So I don't think I'm going to know what one of these chips are, and this device isn't going to be popular enough for people to be kind of selling loads of spares for it. That was a real shame about that one. I'm just going to keep the chip in here along with this bit of paper. And you never know, if the viewers can work out what it is, then I can do a revisit video on that. Feels nice. Feels a real nice little quality product. Right, let's move on to this weird sprocket thing. Okay, so this is the HP Sprocket, the tiny little printer with sticky photos in it. But it doesn't seem to be drawing anything, or a tiny amount. And it's been plugged in the corner charging for quite a few hours. And if you look, that's all it's doing. It just has that flashing red light, but it doesn't seem to want to go any further than that. And as far as I can see, that's too little off a charge. Yeah? Doesn't seem right, especially when it's been plugged in for hours now. So let's see if we can take it apart and see if we can work out what's going on with it. Now, how do you come apart? So there's an on and off button here, but it's not doing anything when I press it. Again, I don't think it's a button problem because it would still charge up. If it didn't turn on, I'd say it's a button problem. Wow, it's actually coming apart very easy. Do I spy? Oh no, I thought it was going to be one of those 18650 batteries. Right, okay, well that was a lot easier than I thought. Oh, this is nice, isn't it? The little gear and everything. Is it like a little printer with a little rubber roller wheel? Okay, I won't mess with that too much. So now, when we plug it in, why is it not charging this battery? What have we got here? Red and black. Should we do the same as before? Plug it in here and see what voltage we're getting. Let's go on the outer two. Nothing. Right, let's unplug it. See what we're getting. Around about the same, there's not much of a difference there, is there? Just wiggling it, see if it makes any difference to the amp draw. No, right, let's unplug that, see if we can unplug this battery. Right, okay. Oh, it says charging limited voltage 8.4 volts. Oh, I didn't dream it'd be that high. Okay, so it's yeah, 8.4 volts. Let's see what we have in it. We don't appear to have anything in this one either. So it looks like the battery is completely dead. Now, has something on the board made it completely dead, or has the battery failed? Has it just been uncharged for a long time? So what I want to do is get my bench power supply on this, and I'm going to set it to around about 8 volts, but only 200 milliamps. And let's see if it starts charging, and see if we can get some charge into the battery, and then maybe the HP sprocket will then take over and start charging once the battery's risen to a safe amount where it's happy to charge. Now obviously if a battery's flat, you shouldn't be charging it up like this because it could be dangerous. I'm just doing this with a bench power supply on low milliamps, so I feel safe doing it. I'm also going to monitor the temperature of the battery by feeding it every few minutes to see if it's getting warm. Okay, I'm jumping in the next day now. I was actually editing up the video and this was getting the better of me. I didn't have a conclusive answer, so I've visited it again now and I've got more info, hence the reason I'm re-filming this bit here. So basically yesterday what I did is I put my bench power supply straight into the red and black wires here, and sure enough this did take a charge. I got it up to something like 7 point something volts. Basically this is two 3.7 lithium cells together in series, so we have 7.4 volts or 8.4 volts max charging. And when I got charge into this and put it into the HP sprocket connected to my phone, sure enough it worked, and I printed out a lovely picture of the dog that visited me, and I was really impressed about how good the actual quality was of that picture. You know, like it really does look just like the picture on my phone, because this line and stuff was on my phone when I took it because it was a sunny day. So it worked fine while I had charging the battery, but bit by bit it kept dropping and dropping, and it didn't matter if I plugged it in, it just would not charge. So I didn't know whether it was a fault with the battery or the board. So now the battery cells have to be okay because they're taking and holding the charge. Even now I will have charge in here. Let me just show you that now. You can see that I've got 7.3 volts in there, and it will hold, you know, it will hold, it won't drop. But you see we've got a little sort of battery management board here. So we've got 5 wires. The 2 reds are connected together on the same solder joint, the 2 blacks are connected together, so really we've only got 3 wires, positive, negative, and this yellow wire. There's like a temperature wire. You will see that from this point here it goes through the board to here, little wire to here, and it says NTC. Now if you watch my air fryer video, you know an NTC would change resistance with heat. So what I did is I went across here with my meter and I got an ohm reading off like 11,000 ohms, I think it was. So actually I went from the black wire to the yellow wire here. It was 11,000 ohms. When I heated it up very, very gently with my hot air thing here, just very quickly, obviously not applying heat to the lithium cells, then the resistance changed quite dramatically. So I know the little NTC thing's working. So that said to me it's probably not the battery, it's probably something on the board. If you have a look at the middle wire here, it goes down a little via, this tiny little via here, into this chip. So I presume this is like the charging chip. So I thought to myself, okay, what about if I short out with tweezers the negative against here? So in other words then, the ohm reading is going to be, you know, just a complete short. And it didn't make any difference. Beg your pardon, sorry, these are the negatives here. Like that. It didn't make any difference. And then I went from the positive to here. And as soon as I did that, it came alive, which I thought was weird. And now it's charging at a good rate. So I don't know by doing that, have I kick-started something? Because I've kind of gone via the vias here, underneath here, and they travel up through here into this area. Or have I blown something in the chip? I mean, there was no smoke, there was no nasty smells or any bangs or anything like that, just nothing. I just did that, and all of a sudden on my meter, it just started to charge at, I think it was like 0.6 of an amp or something like that, and that's when it started filming, so I could show you. So I'm going to put it back together now and show you what I mean. So yesterday, it didn't matter what I did, I could not get this to charge. It was always 0.0, so that if I plug this in now with nothing in, it didn't make a difference if the battery was connected or not. It always gave me the same reading, yeah? And that's not going to charge at that low reading there. So when I plugged the battery in yesterday, that's all it was doing. Just that. Right, now watch. Got to be careful with this battery now. Right, let me just balance it here. Plug it in, look what it's doing now. See? Now we've got two red lights, if you can see that. Two red lights there. And look at that, we've got a nice, healthy charge going on. Now, that to me looks like, well, I know at that level there, the battery's charging. Because yesterday, when it was 0.04, I had it plugged in for 2 hours and it wouldn't charge. Have I somehow kick-started that chip? Did that chip get kind of latched into some position, and by me going across the positive, not the negative, it was the positive I went across, and that temperature wire, that's when it came to life. Now I must stress I did this whilst it was charging, so I had the micro USB plugged in charging, and that's when I went across the red wire and the yellow wire. So I really don't know, let's just see what happens. So I'm just going to take this battery up now, get it all back together, and then I want to show you a picture printed out, because I think it looks pretty impressive. Right, I found one here. That was me when I went on my skateboarding weekend, even though I haven't stood on a skateboard in years and years and years, attempting to do a wall ride. I didn't land that, but at that moment in time, it was looking promising. So check this out, I hit this here. Oh, also look, sorry, you can do tiles, which is clever. So each one of these pictures are 3" by 2", but look, you can build up bigger pictures by doing it in tiles. Can you see? So you can have 9 there to make big pictures. Right, let's just do that one there. Connecting to sprocket printer. It's lovely the way it comes out. Ooh, here it comes. And these are sticky as well, so you can basically peel them. There. Oh, look at that. Looks so old. My friend was taking it using an actual black and white camera. You know, a film, not digital. Look at that, how good does that look? Novelty little device. Right, okay, so yeah, that is it. I'm going to leave this plugged in, and I want to see maybe, I'm going to turn it off, I want to see maybe if after half an hour or so, if it goes green. Well, this is good news. It's been about 45 minutes to 1 hour, still amber light here. It's at 86%. But look, can you see now? The current's dropped right down. So it looks like it's more going to trickle charging now for the last bit, which is fantastic. Right, brilliant news. It's gone to 99% here. And it's not drawing anything. Look at that. 0 amps. Fantastic. Oh, and it's gone to green. Brilliant news. So it looks like it's working. What a result. That's fantastic. Right, okay, let's move on to another item now. Obviously I'll only know over time whether this is fully fixed, but it's certainly doing a lot more than it did yesterday, and it's showing all the signs that it's working safely because it's no longer charging when it gets to 99%, which is just great. Excellent. On to the next item. Right, next up we have this thing here, which is basically like a handheld gimbal thing. And it is doing certain things, but it has a bit of a mind of its own. It seems to not stay focused on where it needs to stay focused. To be fair, it's doing pretty good now. There you go, it's gone off again. Anyway, you can see here that there's a joystick bit missing, and the remains of it are in here. But even if I put this in here, can you see it just keeps moving? Because I presume it's, I don't know what's going on there. I think we need to take it apart and see what's going on with this joystick. Because right now I can't seem to get it to do what it needs to do. And now, gone again. So I think what's happening is, this is like in some weird position in here that keeps throwing it off. Let's take it apart and see if we can work out what's going on. Luckily with this one, it's just some torque screws to undo, and then we have a little sticker cover around one of the mounts. We peel that off, there's more screws under that. The main handle that you actually need to get into is all just clipped together, and it actually comes apart okay, this one. So basically the joystick is snapped. As we look at the joystick closer, we just have to undo the boards and little screws. The joystick is then on the other side. What it actually is a potentiometer. If you imagine like an Xbox controller or a PlayStation controller, the thumbstick's on that. Very similar to that, but unfortunately different. I can't just use that. So the potentiometer is broken. The axle that the thumbstick attaches to is completely snapped off. So it doesn't matter what you do with the joystick, it's not actually moving the X and Y axis at all. Obviously it needs a replacement potentiometer, but unfortunately I can't find one, as I show you in this next part of the video, and then I'll also show you a close-up of the potentiometer. Right, I've looked at my phone for gimbal potentiometer, and there's nothing that resembles this one here. What I'll do is I'll zoom in, because obviously it's just going to be an off-the-shelf part, and maybe some of you will actually recognise the symbol, and then you might be able to find out which one it is, or tell me the manufacturer, and then I'll be able to find one, because I'm sure they're only going to cost a few pounds. You see this symbol up here? Kind of looks like an S. So if we could work out what that is, then we'd have a better chance of finding out. So what I've done is I've dismantled this, and you can see now this is how it works. So we have that on the board, we've got a carbon track up here and a carbon track here, and we've got fingers that rub along it here and here. One for this one for this one. And basically we need something to go in between the bottom here and this one here to be able to move around, and then this to go on top. So what I'm thinking is I've got a tiny little cable clip with a little nail. If I was to grind it down and make this as flat as could be, but still with a head on it, then you see I'll be able to slide one end, hopefully all the way down there, the other one all the way down here, and then it still might be enough to, you know, I might be able to whack it on there, obviously when it's cut down to size. So right now I need to do quite a bit of grinding. I haven't got anything smaller than this at the moment, but if I grind it down here and here with the Dremel tool, then I'll put a grinding disc on, then I might be able to get this to work, and there should be quite a bit of strength in that, more strength than plastic. Deary me, it really is like living in the days before the internet. I just can't seem to get any of these things working because of lack of spares. Like, you know, nothing's coming up on Google and eBay, and that's not the norm. Normally you will find something. Often it will be from AliExpress, and you might have to wait a month or two for it to arrive, but normally you can find some kind of record of it. So I feel like I've been a little bit unlucky so far. Anyway, here I am, just grinding this nail down, trying to get this together. I don't really know why I'm wasting my time on this, to be honest with you. It's just that I'm sort of thinking it'd be nice to see if it could move, because when you move the joystick it's supposed to pan the phone left and right and up and down, so it would be quite nice to see it work, even if it's not going to work well. Anyway, look, let's get a move on with it, and we'll give a shout out to the My Mate Vince Massive at the same time as you're watching this. So the members this month are kitsdigital.com. Kip Hakes, Max Rokotansky. Having Fun Repairs, Will Michaelis, Chris Seal, Felipe at MrKeeps.com, DJVG, Pigsy, Robert from Timsey's Auto Air, Daniel Watson, Zeke C, Anthony Dean, Bazza2, Operational 117, Russ Melanson, Ellis Garbett and Gaspar Heller. Big thank you to each of you. Right, so now I've got this bodge off a potentiometer back together. Let's see if it is actually going to work or not. Let's see now if it's going to do anything.
Oh, ayaw lang.
Oh my word. It's left and right. Doesn't want to centre very well though. It does go left and right. I just can't stop it. I can't find the middle. Right, okay, does it go up? Oh yes it does, look. Look. That's pretty clever. The other way, yes it does, look. Excellent. I just can't use it with my thumb because it's pivoting rather than, you know, moving like that. But look, we've proved it. We've definitely proved it's the potentiometer that's wrong. Now I should be ending this video here because it's already long enough and this length video will do better than a 50-minute video, but I've had 2 fixes and 2 failures and it is a need, the fixes to win. So I'm going to look through the box to find something that hopefully will be an easier fix that would just push the win to the fixes. Come on now Vince, I need this. Right, here we have an amplified hearing assistant. So if you're hard of hearing, you can put some headphones in and this is supposed to amplify the sound from the room into you. And it looks brand new, but look, check this out. Turns on, when I go to put my headphone jack in, it just feels loose. So it's got a little lithium battery inside. But here, ta-da! There's nothing happening. So, fingers crossed, this might be just... It's like it's got its levels mixed up. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to start it up like this. I'm going to make sure I don't touch anything over here. Obviously, you know, don't do this yourselves, meaning don't copy what you see in this video because it will not be the safe way to do things. It's just that I want to see what happens when I want to see what happens basically with the disc when it's in this orientation here. So going into this now is 240 volts. So obviously you've got to take care because it's not been transformed down, so it is live going into the side here. So I'm not going to go anywhere near that side over there. That's off, that's on, and then when you close it, it's the same as that. Look, it's, oh, there you go, I'll let go of it, sorry, there. But it's stopping again, look. Right, okay, I'm going to plug it into the TV, and I'm going to see, you know, the position where it's, I'm going to see the position where it spins fastest at. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start pressing it slowly and hopefully keep it still when I get to a certain position. Do you know what, I'm going to just do an auto-tune on this because I did save that last one and it didn't stick, so just in case it's going to pick it up in a better channel. Just going to do an auto-tune. Goes for a short bit, and I'm not going all the way now. So look, if I go all the way, it goes for a while, then slows down. But even if I just go a little bit, it still slows down. Yeah? Okay, so that's all the way. Now let's just go until it starts moving. I'm keeping it steady here. I haven't moved, but yet it stops again. So it's like it hasn't got the power. So I'm going to go about halfway in between them now. Right, okay, so I'll let the tuning finish, but there's no point in me messing with that, because to me it's not, it's got nothing to do with that switch. It's got nothing to do with that switch there. Right, there we go, it's picked that up now. Right, okay, I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to unplug it. And I'm going to start, I think I'm going to start dismantling it to see if I can see anything. Actually, what I want to check is I just want to make sure that this thing is actually moving. So I'm going to put it all the way out. It's all the way out there. And I'm going to turn it on again. Just to see if the thing's moving. Yeah, I've just seen it move. Right, okay. Now, let's see it now. Yeah, there you go, it's all the way in, so hopefully there won't be an issue with that. Maybe the fan was noisier than normal because it was loose. Red ribbon cable, it just seems to be a push fit in. I don't know if I'd want to be taking that apart too many times. There we go, okay. It's got a little battery there as well. That must be the clock battery to save the date and time. That ribbon cable looks a little bit dodgy on that side there. Also, this thing looks like it's a little bit broken. Yeah, it looks like a tear, but it's not. It's just a crease. Right, okay. If I'm honest with you, I don't really know much about disk drives. I know you can have a dirty lens there, which I might well clean up. In fact, why don't I clean that up right now by using a bit of 99.9% alcohol on it. Just give it a tiny little touch. But that wouldn't cause, or would it? Maybe it would cause. I'm thinking if it didn't read the disc, it could cause it, couldn't it? Because when you close the lid, it knows to start spinning the disc. But then if this doesn't pick up a disc because this is dirty, then maybe it will just stop spinning because it thinks the disc isn't in there. Okay, I'm definitely going to get a Q-tip and give that a clean. Right, so I'm just going to dip the Q-tip in here, then I'll zoom in and we'll see. We'll see what it's like. Okay. Just going to give it a tiny... wipe the dust from around it, because just in case that was to come forward and land on it, on the lens there. Okay, I'm going to let that dry off and then give it a go. The lens itself didn't look dirty, but then around the actual, around the lens there was a little bit. No. Right, okay, so it looks like it knows there's a disc there, it's trying to read it, the laser is moving, but it hasn't got... it just stops. So the motors are obviously working. It's a weird one. Right, okay. I'm going to look to Google for this one because there might be a really obvious answer that I'm missing, and in which case then, because right now, I'll be honest with you, I don't know how to fault find this one right now because it's, it's spinning. If it was a bad catch here, then I could understand because obviously the hinge is broken, isn't it? Hinge is broken here, but that's a separate fault completely. Yeah, so when you go all the way, it just goes so far and then stops. So it's like it hasn't got the power to continue. So I'm gonna check on Google and then see if that throws up anything, and then I can go from there. Right, so I will be back very shortly. Right, okay, so I've been looking into this, and I think I might know what the problem is. So basically, what a few people have done is they've tweaked the potentiometer. So basically, if you were to Google pop tweaking the Dreamcast laser, and basically pop means potentiometer, and what you have to do is you have to decrease the resistance of this to increase the power of the laser. So what you need to do is you need to turn it clockwise 1 degree at a time to decrease resistance, which will increase the obviously increase the power. And it says that decreasing it by more than 50% can burn the laser up. So basically what you have to do is, I've got everything unplugged at the moment. If you have a look at the bottom here, let me just move this back. If you have a look at the bottom here, let me zoom right in to show you. It is basically this thing here. So what you have to do is you have to just turn this 1 degree at a time, so basically a tiny amount, and then it's supposed to increase the power to laser. Weird thing is, most people say to do it clockwise, but then a few things have been written up about doing it anti-clockwise. So I think the idea is that you make a note of where you're starting. So for example, this is the starting position here. Now I don't know if this has already been tweaked, because remember, this is not my Dreamcast. I bought it second hand off eBay, so maybe this has been done multiple times. And you make a mark from here to here, and then so you know where you're starting is. So put a dot here and a dot on the back, and then you just start turning it. Now, if it gets to the stage where you've kind of turned it too much and it's not done anything, this varies from Dreamcast to Dreamcast, but one person started on 0.907 kiloohms, I think that's how you say it, and then they finished up on 0.643 kiloohms. So then by lowering it, they've then obviously increased the power to the laser. But it did say here, decreasing it by more than 50% can burn up the laser. So let's say if you were to start on, let's say 900, well 50% of that would be 450 less. So obviously if you were to go below 450, 0.450 kiloohms, then I presume that's what it means by damaging it. Now I've drawn a little diagram here. There's 2 points that you can measure. So basically it's these two bottom ones here. So I believe if I was to spin this round here, it's these ones at the back here. So can you see 3 little points here? Yeah, so it's these 3 ones here that you would have to test. So it's the bottom 2, I believe, that you'd have to test. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. The ribbon cable's ripped, look. I don't know whether that's me messing around with it, or not, but look, there you go. There's a rip in the ribbon cable. Right, okay. I don't think it's probably not worth me messing around with that potentiometer. Let's actually see, because what I didn't see was, I knew that the laser was moving up and down, but I didn't actually look for any red light. Never ever look at these red lights. And also I must stress, don't touch anything on this side of the board. Right now it's turned off, but even still don't touch anything, because charge will remain in those capacitors. So this side here, you remember there's 240 volts going in here, which is easily enough to kill you. It's not worth dying over a Dreamcast. So I'm making sure that I'm not going ripped the ribbon cable and then gave up on it completely. So even if I was to replace the ribbon cable, I might find that this still doesn't work. But I need to get it out anyway, don't I? Look at this ribbon cable here. It looks like I could just push it in again. Oh, it does, yeah. It's a horrible way to do it. There we go. I'm going to really struggle to get that back in. There we go. You see, big tear on it there. Looks like it's going. Looks like there's a line right the way across. I don't think that's going to be repairable. Looks very weak. It looks like it's about to go there as well. First of all, I'm going to price up how much these are. See if you can get them. Right, okay, so I priced them up, and if you actually type in Dreamcast, ribbon cable, then the only one seems to be selling it is a company, I think they're in America, and for me it was going to be something like, I think it was like £13 plus another £8 or £9 postage, so obviously it's not worth spending that. That's more than I actually spent on this Dreamcast. But what I did type in was, I typed in 16 pin, 1mm pitch, and then it did bring up other ones, and basically I've ordered up, I think they're 70mm, the proper ones are 70mm long, so 7 centimeters, from Hong Kong, and there's going to be 10 of them arriving for only a few pounds, so really cheap. The problem is, because it's coming from Hong Kong and I'm in the UK, realistically that's... Right, continuity. Good news is it was really cheap. I think it was £1.60 plus VAT, or £1.60 something plus VAT. They didn't have a huge amount of them left, but so it's coming in at under £2. That's the order number there. I'm not quite sure what that says at the beginning, but if you type in CPC 18217 and type in something like 16 pin flex, I'm sure you're going to be able to find it. Right, okay, so that's what I'm going to be doing now. So that's good. There you go. Right. Weird thing is, there's no light, but I don't know if there should be a red light or not. Again, further reading up, I could be completely wrong here, but I think it's the DVDs that have the red light, and I think the CD-ROMs are an infrared light, so I don't think it could be seen unless you were to use an old camera, which I haven't actually tried yet. But on this one, it's not a CD-ROM, it's a